Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with the next review of the Fangoria Challenge. This time, Jason and I watched one of the rarest movies on the list. In fact, it probably is the rarest. Rampage. This version of Rampage is a 1992 horror film, written and directed by William Friedkin. And I'll tell you what I mean by this version in just a minute. With Rampage being lost on VHS, or VHS and Laserdisc, some refer to it as Friedkin's lost film. And, according to Fangoria, it's one of the 101 best horror movies you've never seen. Now, getting back to what I meant by this version of Rampage. The movie was originally scheduled for a 1987 release. As a matter of fact, it was released then, but only overseas. The De Laurentiis Entertainment Group was set to be the distributor, but the company went bankrupt. Because of that, the movie went unreleased in the US for 5 years. Finally, in 1992, Miramax Films picked up distribution rights and gave it a limited release. It was then released on home video on both VHS and Laserdisc from Paramount. This here is the VHS, and I also have the Laserdisc. The thing is though, this 1992 cut was re-edited by William Friedkin. He literally requested $600,000 to re-edit the film. So we're not talking about just some minor changes. Friedkin's Rampage of 1987 and his Rampage of 1992 are practically two different films. Rampage is one of just a handful of movies still lost on VHS from this Fangoria challenge. In my opinion, it is absolutely the most obscure of all of them. It's also probably the most difficult or expensive to obtain. And what a shame that is, because this movie is fantastic. Now, I had seen this before quite a few times, but it was a first-time watch for Jason, and he was blown away. Once again, though, I'm sure he'll tell you about that himself in his review. Now, bear in mind, for this Fangoria Challenge review, I will only be focusing on the 1992 cut of Rampage. That's the only version officially released of the film in the US. I will, however, also be reviewing the 1987 version for the 12 Days of Christmas. That's because Rampage is technically a Christmas slasher. Charlie Reese, in a phenomenal performance by Alex MacArthur, is the killer in Rampage. There is no mystery to that. We unequivocally witness him carry out his murderous deeds. It is the days leading up to Christmas when he kills a family, covers himself in their blood, and even drinks it. And then he kills some more. This time a mother and her 5-year-old son. Charlie is soon in police custody, and liberal district attorney Anthony Frazier, played by Michael Biehn, is on the case. Anthony and his wife have lost a young daughter of their own in the not-so-distant past. With that traumatic loss still on his mind, the case becomes a bit more personal for him. Though typically not an advocate for the death penalty, he feels he must seek it in this case. But Charlie's defense attorney is attempting to claim insanity. Anthony Frazier does not believe this to be true. He claims Charlie's murderous rampage was premeditated. As an intense court battle ensues, Charlie soon finds himself with an opportunity to escape. And that's exactly what he does. Killing again, taking more victims, and drinking more blood. Is Charlie really insane? Or can Anthony prove that this was just a skillful, willful rampage? This might just be one of the most underrated horror films out there. If any movie is deserving to be on this list, it's Rampage for sure. What's all the more surprising is that it was directed by William Friedkin. Imagine directing one of the most famous horror movies of all time in The Exorcist, but then having a brilliant film like this fall into obscurity. This one needs a Blu-ray release, and it better have both versions. As I already stated, Alex MacArthur is phenomenal as Charlie Reese. He's incredibly scary, sinister yet somehow likable. The movie leaves you questioning whether or not you agree with the final jury verdict. Michael Biehn, who's always great, is great again as District Attorney Anthony Frazier. It's Kyle Reese versus Charlie Reese. Go figure. The kills are actually pretty disturbing. The Christmas timeline adds that stark contrast to what you're seeing unfold on screen. I love the courtroom scenes. For some reason, the courtroom is so dark, but it sets the mood. And the ending of Rampage, in my opinion, is fantastic. There are a lot of differences in the original 1987 version, but like I said, I'll get to that during the 12 Days of Christmas, very soon. As a matter of fact, I almost used the 1987 cut as my relatable recommendation, but I reconsidered. Instead, I decided to go with Jade. This is another very underrated Friedkin film, released in 1995. And like Rampage, it also happens to star Michael Biehn, and it features a district attorney and a clinical psychologist like Rampage. And murder, of course. There's murder too. As you can see, this is the unrated special extended home video version, including 12 minutes of additional footage. Unlike the theatrical version of the film, which I also own on VHS, this tape is much harder to find. Maybe almost as rare as Rampage. Have you seen it? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. And please be sure to check out Jason's review. What's up next in the Fangoria challenge? Well, you'll have to wait a little while to find out, because beginning on this Sunday, December 12th, the 12 Days of Christmas begin. Keep an eye out for my review of the 1987 cut of Rampage. It's going to be a fright Christmas. And then, following that, the Fangoria challenge will return. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.